Welcome to the next episode of Doing Insurance Right. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. I'm a local farmers agency owner here in Ahwatukee, Arizona / Phoenix, Arizona. And today I just wanted to talk about home-based businesses. In a recent study I read, 50% of all today's businesses here in the U.S. are home-based, which I was kind of like, whoa, I didn't believe it was quite 50%. And then the second part of that, in that same article I read, that 75% of those businesses that were home-based businesses did not have any business type insurance, which I about once again fell out of my chair while doing that. So once I read that article, I was bound and determined to kind of maybe explain on how you could, if you have a home-based business, on how you can make sure you are insured to make sure you don't lose everything that you currently have, especially if your family's probably depending on that income that you have for that home-based business. So first of all, there's some small things you can do if you just have, let's say it's just you working, maybe you've got a laptop, an additional printer, some small things like that. You can add some additional endorsements to your current homeowner's policy. If that's all we're doing there, let's say we're just maybe selling products online. Maybe it's e-courses, things that are digital copy and that you're not actually shipping and things like that. So you can add those to your homeowner's policy there to make sure you have enough coverage for those items. Because if something happened, A, like theft, or B, fire or flood, you want to make sure you can replace those items. The second one is a business owner policy. You can do that for, even though it's the home and it's not a separate space, or better known as probably a BOP policy. Basically, it's a BOP, is a business owner's policy, is exactly what it is. It's especially if you travel with your equipment. I'm going to give a great example here, and this would be a photographer. So let's say you have a photographer that takes pictures, that has to do it on scene. You know, you're taking your camera, you're taking lenses, things of that nature. Let's say stands, maybe even lighting, and you're going around to different places to shoot pictures. Or the big one for a lot of photographers is going to be like weddings, that kind of nature. So you're going to need to take equipment for that, or maybe video, those type of things. So they're going to have the equipment covered while not at the house, because if in that particular case, let's say your normal homeowners would cover that amount of theft for photography equipment. The other things that are really important with that BOP policy are going to be liability insurance. Once again, I'm just going to refer to the photographer. Have you ever met an upset bride? Let's say the pictures were not to her quality of what she was looking for. It's a once in a lifetime event. Can't have everybody back there. Maybe it was a destination wedding. So, how much is that worth to a jury or judge? Or if you were settling out of court, how much is that worth? So that's where that liability is going to come into place. Your homeowner's liability is not going to cover you for a job that you did. It's not business liability, it's personal liability on that one. So that's really important to have a BOP on that one there. Another huge reason for the BOP is going to be cyber liability. That's a big one these days. If you are collecting any type of customer or client information, such as name, address, phone number, email address, maybe even birth date, sometimes even social security number, credit card info, anything like that, cyber liability is going to basically help fix whatever the problem was where they cracked in or hacked into your system. Personal liability is the one that's actually going to cover if there's any lawsuits due to the fact identity was stolen. So those two are going to work hand in hand on that one as well. So the third thing, basically, if you have a home-based business, some of you might have a home-based business, and if you have employees, now if they're W-2 employees, even if you only have one, you definitely need to have workman's compensation. And the reason for that is because, let's say you only have one, the state might require only, if you have 2 or 3 employees, that you have to have workman's comp. But remember, if you do not have workman's comp, that your employees, even if you only have one, they can sue you. So you are liable. So for example, let's say you have an employee run an errand for you. They take their own car. Let's say you don't have work comp and they get into an accident, they can sue you for, let's say, diminished value of the vehicle because the vehicle's worth less, or if they were hurt, something to that effect. Just making sure that you have work comp. It's really cheap, especially if we're doing something that's home-based business, because you're not manufacturing. It's probably not something that you're not spending a lot of money on work comp. It's just to protect you. And it'll also give you a discount towards that BOP policy too if you put those together. So definitely, you don't want to have an employee, especially one that's been around for a while, then all of a sudden, you get sued by the employee which, you can't really blame them because they're trying to recoup their money. And then all of a sudden you got a hugely uncomfortable situation at work, and nobody wants to go through that. So, like I said, after reading this article, I really had to get on my podium and kind of plead with the home-based business owners to make sure they have the right coverage. Either please get a hold of myself at scottjenkinsinsuranceagency.com or get a hold of your own local agent to go through your policy, let them know what you do for a living, that you are working from the home, and let them kind of go through and guide you on exactly what it is. Or like I said, just get a hold of us online. I'll be more than happy to go through your policy with you as well and just kind of tell you where the gaps in the coverage may be for your home-based business. I wanted to thank you once again for listening to this episode of Doing Insurance Right. As always, we do appreciate you listening. If you could all do me a favor and rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to, whether it be on Apple, whether it be on Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify is a huge one these days. iHeartRadio is even out there, Pandora, all of those. I would greatly appreciate it, as it does help us grow and also helps us get faster to the community. And I look forward to talking with everybody on the next episode. Thanks for listening.